Hello everyone, and welcome to The Heir's Lair. I am your host, Jonathan Taylor, aspiring author. Today, as the title already gave away, I'll be answering the Booktube Newbie Tag. No one in particular tagged me, I just thought it would be helpful to do it so you get a better idea of what I'm all about. If you find the questions are somewhat irregular, you'll have to blame Read with Cindy for that, because I kind of got these questions from her video. Yeah, okay, and I'll be reading them from my tablet because I'm a fancy boy. So let's start. Question 1. Why did you start a channel? I actually revealed that in my previous video, my first video, where I said it's because I want to make a brand of myself. I want to make myself more well known, so that I can build a platform for my debut novel, for one. And the other major reason is because I want to create a community where people can chat with me or with each other about anything that they find interesting about books or literary fiction or long-form narrative fiction in general. I hope I managed to do that, though I've been doing a pretty poor job of it so far. Question 2. What are some fun/unique things you can bring to Booktube? Maybe not necessarily fun, but what makes me unique as far as I'm aware within Booktube is I have an engineering background, so I am somewhat more analytical in my approach to how books are put together and made, and I think that qualifies me to have my certain opinions of mine to be a little more out of the box and more interesting. And if that doesn't work, I can always fall back on sarcasm. That works too. Question 3. What are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, I'm going to give the capitalist answer now. Namely, I want to see numbers go up. As I post more videos, I want to see more views, more likes, more comments, more subscriptions, because why not? On the one hand. On the other hand, I don't want that to just be vacuous. I want to reach people. I want to make sure that the people who see me and stay so because they think my positions are interesting, or they think the positions of others are interesting enough. The others they find, through my channel. Question 4. Why do you love reading? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. It's because I like to have my mind expanded. I like to see what is possible, or how certain concepts can be put in place. And I like to explore differences in how they shape us as people, us as a society. So, yeah, that's my main reason. Question 5. What book/series got you into reading? Well, I don't know if this series is available in an international language, so I won't say too much about it. It's about a group of kids who have to solve various mysteries and riddles, and over the course of their puzzle solving, they eventually find and stop robbers, smugglers, etc. It's actually a very fun read, especially if you are in that age range. And yeah, it's of all the book series I've actually read, it's probably the one I look forward to revisiting the most. Though I don't, as a rule, revisit any book series. Who knows, I might make an exception for this one. Question 6. What question would you ask your favorite booktubers? I should probably mention who my favorite booktubers are first. Well, I already mentioned that I got the questions from when Read with Cindy did this tag. She is basically the anti-booktuber. I'm not sure what the general mood of the booktube is, because I don't really try to keep up with drama. But I know she has neither rage nor is she bubbly. She just has a lot of but she has a lot of sass, and she has a lot of almost biting, almost insulting insights. It's it's kind of interesting to behold, really. So it's what compels me to reach out to her and find out what she's all about. The second person I'll mention is Paperback Dreams. Kate from Paperback Dreams is also kind of sassy, but also is a bit more approachable, and or at least comes off as friendlier than Read with Cindy, and more and kind of more sympathetic, if I may say so myself. Sorry, Cindy, I still love you, but this is what I think about someone else. And yeah, I also like the way both these ladies interact with their audience, and how they engage and create the community around them. That's also something that inspires me. And last but not least is Murphy Napier, the Kentucky Duchess of Booktube. She hits a very good sweet spot between sophisticated and approachable. She talks a bit about more high concept stuff, but she talks about them in such a way that doesn't really alienate people who have little experience or contact with that kind of stuff. So it really challenges you more into engaging with her. So I find that to be very interesting, very rewarding as a viewer. I would ask them, well, what keeps them going? How do they keep themselves going when it comes to their YouTube platform? Also, what are they like outside of YouTube, or when the cameras aren't rolling on them? Though I've followed them for enough time to actually already kind of know that. And the third question is whether or not I could ask them out for a cup of coffee. I don't actually drink coffee, but I am willing to have a coffee with them, or rather, they'd have the coffee, I'd have something else. So yeah, that's my answer. Question 7. What is the hardest challenge when starting a booktube channel? For me, I don't know how it is for other people, but for me it's consistency. I actually wanted to get this video done and posted last week, but life got in the way. So kind of like I did with writing, I have to make a habit out of this. I have to set some time aside and work on my image, work on making videos. So at least for now, that is the hardest challenge for me. Question 8. When did you start reading? Well, I did mention that previous adventure series. I mentioned that adventure series at a previous question that got me into reading habitually. It didn't actually get me into reading habitually. It focused me into reading habitually, because I was reading just in general before that. I started reading not in school, but kind of at age 5. I wasn't exactly surrounded by more cars than any other 5-year-olds from my time and place would be, but I did notice license plates a lot, and I did notice that some of the symbols on them would repeat themselves. And I would ask my parents, what do these symbols mean? What does it mean when they're put together that way? How do you Do they have any designations, etc. And yeah. And that's kind of how I started. I learned about various abbreviations from there, and then just looked around and assimilated, allowed it to kind of wash over me. Thinking back on it now, I guess I was kind of annoying, but my parents kept me, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Question 9: where do you read? Well, most of my reading focuses around my bed. Either I lay down and have my book to my side, or I lay down and have the book somewhere on the floor. However, that isn't always a good thing because I have to be careful about my posture and sit straight. So I also sit the book on this chair, raise it, and then sit down on the bed. That allows me to sit up straight better. However, when I'm not reading books, when I'm reading whatever else, for example the news, it's mostly from my laptop, so once again I'm sitting here and reading from my desk. And finally, question 10: what kind of books do you like to read? The genres I kind of like the most to read are slice of life comedies. David Lodge does those pretty well. Books that kind of expose the absurdities that we surround ourselves with and take for granted. And more high concept stories, hard sci-fi or high fantasy. Books that really, as I said before, expand my mind. That's my answer to that, and that's all the questions. I thank you once again for your time, and well, see you soon.